First of all, Ryan, thanks for taking the time. Grew up in Texas, but you were born in Florida. Do I have that right?
Right, I was born in Florida. We moved to the Dallas area my freshman year of high school. 1 month into my freshman year of high school.
Was that hard?
Yeah,
You're moving?
it was very hard, yeah. But I think ultimately it was good for me, to kind of be put into a new situation where you got to make friends and come out of your shell a little bit and all that, but yeah.
Proved to be something you would have to do later in life with baseball as well, right? When you get
Foreshadowing, that's for sure.
How did you get your start in baseball, and what made you grow into the game and love the game?
My brother played growing up, and so I think probably started with watching him play in high school, and then I never thought I was going to make it this far. I just loved the game and enjoyed practicing, enjoyed hitting in the cage and taking around balls, and with no expectations, I would say. But as the years went on, I just continued to go to the next level and realized I could play. And then, here we are. I'm 32. I still get to play baseball, so what a blessing.
32, an all-star. You're definitely still playing and still thriving. Sam Houston State University. So at that point, were you thinking, hey, I'm going to try to make it as a big leaguer, or are your expectations that I'm going to play college ball and go to a different career?
Yeah, I just wanted to be a good college player. My dad was a salesman, a businessman, so I was studying business, and I figured that's probably what I was going to end up doing. And then I think, after my first 2 years, I realized, I might have a chance to get drafted. So I'm going to go, take a shot at that. And it's been quite the journey. But, yeah, no real expectations probably until, I don't know, when I got to AA, AAA, I started realizing that this is a possibility I could maybe play in the big leagues one day.
Super cool. And you were drafted by the Royals in the 8th round of the 2014 draft. Was that where you hoped you would go?
Yeah, it was more like just an opportunity to keep playing. That's really all it was. I knew I wasn't going to be a first-round pick or anything like that, but I always believed in myself and thought that I could stack up against the competition every time I moved up to college and minor leagues and things like that. So just grateful for the opportunity the Royals gave me, and got a lot of love for the people over there. Still keep in contact with them. So I owe a lot to that org and my time in Kansas City.
So you spend 4 years with the Royals in the minors, and then you get your debut, 2018. You hit a home run in your debut game, and you do have a good first season that was July on. And then things got a little tougher. What do you take away from your time with the Royals, and what did you learn through your time with the Royals?
So much. 2018 was a really good year for me. I finished with a 950 OPS after a month in the big leagues, and going into 2019, I knew I was going to be on the team, and I think that when you have success right away, it can be deceiving, especially in this game. Playing well that first year it kind of set me up for and that's my own fault, is being a young player. You think you have this great understanding, and in this game, as soon as you think you know something, you don't. So it's a very humbling game, and 2019 was a really hard year for me. The league had kind of adjusted to me, and they saw some holes in my swing, and it was just a grind, really, from 2019 and really for the next 3 years after that, 20, 21, and 22. And, I saw playing time taken away. Went from being a starter, an everyday player in 2019 for the most part, to a bench guy. That was really hard, and you realize how much you love the game, how much you love being on the field. I could talk all day about the lessons that I learned over those years, but probably the main two things that I could take away was, for one, it's not going to go the way that you plan. It's completely out of my hands. It's God's plan for our lives, and I had to be okay with if this wasn't, baseball wasn't going to be my future, then I had to be okay with that, and I think that freed me up. And, also just to enjoy it and be grateful for it, because it can be taken away in an instant. And there's only so many players that get to play in the major leagues. And, if you have anything but a grateful spirit about you, then, I don't think you're doing it the right way.
How hard was it to go to the field during that time?
Yeah. It was hard to go to the field. I didn't want to sulk. I thought my teammates deserved a good teammate out of me. And there were definitely hard days. I leaned a lot on my wife during that period, and she was great, and she kind of kept me, level-headed and focused on the big picture. and which is really, hey, I get to continue to play baseball. So just being grateful for that and showing up with a good energy every day. So many people in that organization that helped me through that time, and very grateful for them.
I read how your wife kind of looked at you one day and said, "You're not fun to be around." So your attitude, you had to kind of have a little chat with yourself, right? Because it's kind of human nature. It's a difficult time mentally, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was kind of a sobering conversation we had, where she just told me, like, hey, you're not fun to be around anymore. And, and you're letting the game consume your whole life and your relationships, and, taking a lot of struggles at the field, taking it home. It's a different story now, but I definitely needed that conversation. And I realized I don't want to look back in 10 years on possibly my only time in the major leagues and be like, I was unhappy the whole time. So that's not exactly where the play turned around, the performance turned around, but that's where kind of the mentality turned around, where, hey, I'm going to enjoy this no matter what. I'm going to be the best teammate I can be. When I get a chance to go out there and have an at bat or play defense, I'm just going to leave it out there, and I'm going to be okay with the results.
It kind of needed to start there, I would imagine, like for anybody going through any struggles. And then you get traded to the Orioles, and your career does turn around, and your trajectory does turn around. What was the difference? What kind of helped you in that transition to the Orioles?
I think it was an accumulation of a lot of things. I will say, and there's credit to, one guy that stands out in my mind who's with the Orioles now, John Mabry. He was a hitting coach in Kansas City when I was on the bench. And, I took that a lot of time on the bench. I watched a lot of baseball, and I learned a lot of lessons. And I learned a lot of stuff from him because, he went through some of that in his career. And so I think when I finally got the opportunity to play in the big leagues again in Baltimore, I was ready for it. And I had learned a lot of new things mechanically with my swing. The Orioles coaches at the time, hitting coaches at the time, and one of them still here in Cody Ashley, but Ryan Fuller, Borg Schulte, they had a plan for me, and they had really helped me understand some things about my swing and what I was trying to do. And then it just felt like when it was time I had the chance to play again, I felt like I had nothing to lose. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I've already been through the ringer in this game. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to leave it all out there. And, whatever happens, I'm going to be okay with it. And, turns out that's a recipe for some success. And so, I have nothing but really fond memories of my time in Baltimore.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you reunite with everybody now that the Orioles are here in San Diego. And there was a quote from interim manager with Baltimore that you came back from the dead. Do you agree with that quote? I mean, that's a powerful quote. Is that what you felt like with a resurgence and new confidence?
Yeah, I mean, in this game, when it can be taken away from you. And you can, I've been optioned countless times. I've been designated twice. I've slipped through waivers on a minor league deal in Baltimore. And so, yeah, I mean, as someone who's experienced it, I know players go through it all the time, but you can feel like you've been kind of just left behind. And it's really hard to get back. It's really, it takes consistent success at the AAA level and a great mindset, and ultimately an opportunity, an injury, or I never hope anyone gets injured, but like it takes something to get you a new opportunity, and then the pressure's on and you have to perform and you get your next chance. So it's been quite the journey in this game, to say the least. And when I think about my journey over the years in this game, I just can't help but be grateful for so many coaches and people that have supported me through all of it. And it's amazing, they say in this game, how you treat people on your way up is how they'll treat you on your way back down. So grateful for the struggles, the trials. I feel like it's prepared me for a lot of things that I feel very lucky I still get to play baseball. And I think all of those, challenges that I went through have prepared me for anything in this game.
I mean, that is really, really well put. And now that you look back on that and you are on the cusp of perhaps a postseason run with the Padres and perhaps, a free agency that could be really exciting for you, what does it mean to you in just looking at how far you've come?
I don't know that I've had a time to really process the whole transformation or the whole journey just yet. This year has been such a whirlwind. Every year that I've been since I got traded to Baltimore seems like it's been, just more and more fun. Like, it means a lot. It's been my life's work, and I'm proud of overcoming some struggles, and I've made some really good relationships and people that I'll love forever, and I'm grateful for. And Yeah.
Do you think sometimes players just need a fresh start?
Yes, I do. I think a change of scenery can definitely help.
Yeah.
New voices, all of that. I think that's a real thing. And I think a lot of it depends on the player and the mentality they have.
Yeah.
Are they willing to accept some criticism, some instruction, change, continue to evolve in this game? For me, that's the name of the game. Continue to evolve, continue to get better. No matter how old you are, how many years you put into it, you're never going to master this thing. Crazy things can happen on this field, and the more you experience, the more you'll be prepared. But I think that's the name of the game, is being able to change and grow and evolve, and all the while treat people the right way, because that's what's going to give you opportunity. Is how you're viewed as a teammate and a member of the clubhouse.
Any hobbies? Anything you like to do outside of the field?
Yeah, I love to play golf. I'm not that good, but I'm not terrible. I like to play golf with the guys. I like the competitive nature of it. I like to be outside and swing clubs and hit golf balls, and that would be my number one hobby for sure.
Have you played with Sheetsy, Pavetta?
I played with Sheets, Pavetta, and Manny. Yeah.
And how has Manny Machado?
Yeah.
And how has that gone?
It's been fun. We've had a blast. We've played twice. Sheets is the best golfer.
He was like an amateur pro or something.
Yeah. Sheets will shoot par, so if that gives you any idea, he'll shoot even par.
What is one thing you want to see or do in San Diego?
My wife and I were talking yesterday. There's one off day at the end of the season when I think we want to go to the zoo.
This is always a great choice. Ryan, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for letting us learn a little bit more about you.
Yes.